think it's time to blow this scene. Get everybody in the stuff together. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam.
Ladies and Gentiles, heroes of fantasy, welcome to week 9. That's right, folks. We only go to week 13 for the regular season. So strap it in because this is the home stretcheroo of the Recaparoo. And without further ado, we're going to do. Here we go. Anywho, first of all, we've got Obi-Wan Mahomey and C. Jizzle clashing at the top of the mountain. And let me tell you, Al's juice ran out. He had no lineup jutsu this week as C. Jizzle continues to have children and beat babies, scoring a $107, beating Al Jose, Obi-Wan Mahomey, 107 to 66. Al, not a good day with 66. He was not clairvoyant in who he should play, mainly since a bunch of his dudes were on bye, folks. Not much going on Al's team other than Dallas Schultz and Dak trying to carry the load, but he just picked up random dudes that got point nothing. Al not prepared for the buys very well, but C. Jizzle was. You see, he's got a 24-piece from Josh Allen leading the way and a hot pickup of Cade Otton for a 20-piece that led him to the dub. I mean, he may have got the dub anyway. Lots of buys on both sides, but C. Jizzle getting it done. And they both go to 7-2, folks. It's a rough one here. Meanwhile, moving right along, speaking of rough ones, Alfredo had a rough L last week, and in this week, he breaks that curse, gets that big dub, 96.4 to 89.6 over the Derelicts as the wheels have come off Jay Sizzle's team, taking a tough L here. J-Sex, not much to write home about besides that Ravens D scoring 16, but the Brownies on the other side dropped a 23 on J-Sex, and Austin Eckler, the old namesake, scoring 20, helped carry Freddie across the finish line to a big dub, putting him to 4-5, and keeping that playoff hope alive. We'll get to the standards at the end to see where we all stand. It's going to be down to the wire. Let me tell you, like I said, only 4 weeks left after this one, Jax. Meanwhile, the Professor Ito getting a big dub, turning the ship around, going to 5-4 as he puts down Zachariah. His hurt so good, it's bad, and it's bad, and it's good. Only scored 110, only. Anyway, Oscar scoring 115. It's like destiny draws the two teams together. It makes no sense. The highest scoring team of the week, 115. Not exactly what you're used to for the highest scoring team of the week, but 110, the second highest scoring team. So Zach would have actually beat anyone else except for Oscar. So a terrible L in the matchup column here. And Oscar draws the perfect matchup because he beat the next best scorer when he needs to here. Just solid performances top to bottom, despite the goose egg from Tyler Higbee. But because he got some nice upper teens and 20s from his dudes, the Professor was able to amass the $115. Meanwhile, the Raiders D shocking everyone with a big 20-pointeroos. And a big Jake Ferguson out of nowhere, tight end for the Dallas them boys, scoring 18 in contrast to that goose on the other side. But just not enough to get Zach across the finish line. Tough L for Zach, knowing that he scored so well this week. He goes to 3-6. Professor goes to 5-4, and we'll see what that means for them in a minute. But we'll see what it means for Steven Naramore when he loses by just 2, 84 to 82. Ridiculously close game here, folks, as the champ Steven Naramore takes another L, goes to a 1-8, and all those championship dreams staying alive here, folks. Winning by the tooth and a nail here, going to 6-3. And again, nothing crazy popping off, just some solid performances. And the big acquisition here. Steven Narimore, Rashad White, going for 25.9, boy. That trade paying dividends for Steven Narimore, but still couldn't get him the dub. I guess we'll see how he does in that Redemption Bowl. Although, meanwhile, dude's popping off on his bench. Could have scored quite a bit more, but got the dub anyway, so he doesn't have to be sad going to 6-3. Speaking of sad, let's talk about a guy who got all the bad juju. A guy who agreed to a trade with Danny Boy. Jamar Chase on the way out of town. Going to Danny Boy's team. But Adrian said, trade is next at the end of the day. We're talking almost like 14 hours later. This dude's going to be like, nah, never mind. My verbal acceptance wasn't good enough as Danny Boy is waiting for Thursday Night Football to pop off so he can make some moves. Adrian backs out because he had another trade partner, Tyree, that backed out of the deal, and he said, deal's dead. And I said, Adrian, you are cursed. And sure enough, he drops a 2.0 to the Chief, Ricky G, and he's got to love it. Phoenix Legacy putting down Adrian 66-64. Ricardo going to 6-3. Adrian falling to 5-4. Just desserts, you pussy wagon. I don't even know if that's a bad thing or not. That makes it sound like you're just slaying pussy out there, which is probably a good thing unless they're cats. Your team did a bunch of shit because you have no running back still. And the guy you were supposed to trade only scored 6. Jamar Chase heard he was on the trade block and said, fuck you, and only scored 6, costing you the big dub. Instead, you get hung an L going to 5-4. Disappointing performances on Ricky G's side. A flurry of trades that he's been involved in, and the dividends haven't been shown. But hey, team's still looking good. Got the dub. He's still in that top of the playoff chase that we'll get to just a sec. But suck it, Adrian. Anyway, moving along. Matthew J. Segovia picking up another dub, going to 6-3. The dream season continues. I don't know how he's doing it. He scored 92 against 82 as Tyree goes down, way down in the hole, as the wheels have finally come off. The good luck is gone. Your Knicks trade with Adrian didn't help your cause. But Joey Burrow did with 22. Matt Steve, just a solid little outing here, scoring him more than enough to get past Tyree's lackluster lineup, being mostly carried by CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper, and not much ado otherwise, folks. Tyree going to 4-5, Matt going to 6-3, and stay tuned for where that puts them, folks. Meanwhile, it's a little toilet bowl preview as old Danny Boy took on That's So Ravens, Dwayne Rainey. Danny Boy's Taylor Swift squad has lost like 47 in a row. Finally picks up a dub. Finally scores decent-ish, 92. Dwayne somehow scored 50. I don't even know. I don't know what the lowest is this year, but that's pretty bad. It's 50. And you know what the crazy part is? It's not even because of bye weeks. No, you see, Dwayne's team has no one on bye this week. Danny Boy had 4 guys on bye, and Dwayne had none, and somehow scored only 50 points. Part of that is because he left Matthew Stafford in, who decided not to play, dropping a big gooser up there. That's never going to help when your quarterback gets 0. But the rest of his team, demoralized, also did nothing. DJ Moore with only 3. His running back scoring a combined 8. And Waddle, just a massive disappointment with 6. I'm shocked he scored 50, folks. It's a rough one out there. Meanwhile, Danny Boy hanging in. Taylor Swift, not exactly scoring crazy, 15-8, but big 21 from Josh Jacobs. So despite getting a big goose egg from the Bears defense, the trade acquired T. Higgins helped mask Christian Watson's piece of shit ass as Danny Boy gets a dub over deadbeat Dwayne Rainey. They both go to 3-6, probably both out of the playoffs, but we'll find out in just a moment. So remember, trades still popping off. Make those moves. There's still a little bit of time left, and you've got the Redemption Bowl, even if you don't make the playoffs. 4 weeks left here, folks, as we see at the top of the mountain. Al still at 7-2, along with C. Jizzle, and then Aldo, Ricky G, and Matt Segovia at 6-3. Ridiculous three-way tie, folks. We got a race down to the wire. Tiebreakers will probably matter. It's gonna be crazy. And then sitting at 5-4, the Professorito and that asshole Adrian. And then right below that, Alfredo sticking in there along with Tyree. Tyree's slide has cost him. He is just dropping L's left and right here, folks. Falling to 4 and 5. Jay Sizzle, Zach, Taylor Swift, Danny Boy, and Dwayne all sitting at 3 and 6, folks. It's still a clusterfuck. Somehow their playoff chances are not quite over. They, according to ESPN, have 1% chance to make the 4-man playoffs. I don't know what that means, but it's there. Meanwhile, who is eliminated? Steven Aramore. I mean, he was eliminated last week, but it's just cements the thing. 1 and 8, folks, in the cellar. But you're not last until you finish last in the Redemption Bowl. Remember that, Jacks. Keep doing trades, improving your teams. It doesn't matter if you're at the biggity bottom, because you can be at the tippity top when you win back your entry fee and redeem your team. And then maybe you win the championship next year like Al's trying to do. You go from redemption, flushing the toilet, right to the top. Right to the top. Adrian, you're a piece of poop. I hope Jamar Chase leaves your team and goes over to Danny Boy's team just for free. That's it. Anywho, keep those deals moving. Dicks out, baby.